Ms. Storm?
Still in Central Administration. 53321. Here is for science kits. Science kits upgrade, is that correct? For $30,000.
It's either, yeah, it would be Mr. Osmond.
53321.
Mr. Osmond, to the
Yeah, that number again is a contingency number. We're looking at possible upgrades to kits that we would phase in again. The FOSS science kit system has upgraded all their kits to try and meet the draft of standards, science standards, and also to improve the assessment system that they have for the science kits as well. That's going to be contingent on a number of things, including decisions that we would make with the rest of the districts in our science consortium. So we're trying to be prepared for that. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen or not. And we'll begin those discussions with other consortium members sometime soon. And that too, as we're going through with new science, we want to kind of be ahead of the curve with science curriculum as the second draft and hopefully close to the final draft of the new science standards was just released last week. And so we're looking at that. Actually, I'll be at Learn on Friday going through those standards and also serving a statewide science assessment advisory committee as well.
Thanks, Chris.
Ms. Fisher?
Under central office also, 51123, salary non-affiliated, there's a vacant position.
That's the secretary that just resigned that we want to replace with an HR executive secretary. Retired, actually.
Ms. Storm?
To ask a general question, Dr. Conway, could, if we reconfigured and wanted to do full-day kindergarten, would reconfiguration impact full-day kindergarten at a lesser cost? If we I know I'm asking that right.
I think I know what you mean. So if we reconfigured and put a lot of first grades together or second grades together, that kind of thing, then I think we would probably have the space without putting art and music on a cart. So I think that would do it, because we did look into that last year. Funding that we would save would be in other grade levels, not in the kindergarten level. In fact, in kindergarten right now we have 4 sections at Maple Street, and with with more children, we only have 3 sections at Northeast. So I already reduced a section going to 15 right now. So it would be at other grade levels where we would save staffing, and so yes, that would offset the kindergarten piece if we save staffing. So perhaps combining 4th grades and 5th grades, we might be able to save a 4th grade teacher and or a 5th grade teacher. Although we have some pretty high 5th grades, probably 1st and 2nd would be more likely.
So would it be an exaggeration to say that perhaps we could reconfigure and include all-day kindergarten and it wouldn't cost $600,000?
It would cost we would still need the classrooms, we would still need the furniture, so there's $90,000. It's possible that we could offset, if we were lucky, we'd probably offset 3 of the 7 staff members that we needed, so it would cost us 4 out of 7, so 53 times 4 is about $250,000.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's off the top of my head. I can look at the enrollment and get that ready for you next time if you'd like. see what would happen if we combined.
You answered, only if the board agrees with that, you answered my question, so.
Mr. Campbell.
Based on the actual enrollments that you presented to us this evening, I see 4 FTEs that we might be able to help pay for a large portion of all-day kindergarten, if not all of it. I'll draw the board's attention to Skinner Road. Currently, there are 3 positions and 42 students. If there were 2 positions for 42 students, there would be 21 in each class. I see no reason, and I'm not the educator here, and you're going to make an argument for, well, you know, it's got to be tailored to the needs of the students. I understand that. I'm only looking at the raw numbers here. There are 42 students, and currently there are 3 people teaching them. Now, that, in my view, that needs to be 2 people teaching them. Now, I can make a case, I think, for 3 other situations, one of which is Center Road School. You have 4 positions teaching 74 children in the 4th grade. In Northeast School, you have 3 people teaching 49 students in the 3rd grade. And in Lake Street School, you have, in the 4th grade, 3 people teaching 50 students. If we're serious about going to all-day kindergarten and find that to be a financial challenge, then we need to look very seriously about those 4 positions and whether or not we can afford to have that if we want, if we're serious about going to all-day kindergarten. If that's my view on that. That's 4 FTEs right there.
Had you accounted for any of those at this point?
No, actually, for these numbers have gone up and down all fall, and so that hasn't been part of our discussion. The Skinner Road School, yes, that number started much higher, because certainly with 42 students, we wouldn't have left at the beginning of the year. We would never have left that many students there. So that would be something we would look at for next year. And then just one other comment. You know, that the board has asked prior to this that we maintain low enrollments in the lower grades. I'm not sure where that break point is. So you mentioned 3rd grades as well as 4th and 5th grades or 4th grades. So, you know, if a 3rd grade of 25 or 26 kids is one thing, and a 4th grade might be another thing.
But they'd be moving into a 4th grade.
Yeah.
So the 49 students currently in a 3rd grade would be next year in a 4th grade. And a 24-25 split would be almost right on our guidelines. I'd like to bring up the possibility of moving our entire 5th grade to the middle school. If we are challenged with space and we have 708 students in a middle school that held 1,000 easily not too many years ago, we might be able to solve our space. Well, thank you. Some quick math here takes us to 966 students if we added the 5th grade. I mean, in a sense, it's fortunate that we only have 708 in the middle school. But for us to be sitting here lamenting a lack of space is, to my way of thinking, a little short-sighted. I think there's a solution there. Now, I don't know how parents are going to feel about that, but if parents want all-day kindergarten, then I don't think moving the 5th graders to the middle school is too much to ask them to agree. That's all.
Ms. Fisher.
Is it possible to keep the 5th graders segregated from the rest of the population of BCNS? Because they are younger.
That was the question when we brought the sixth graders over there, if you recall then, many years ago. And we did, and we still do, the sixth graders are on the first floor except for science labs. They have to go to the second floor. All their specials, exploratory courses, they're up on the second floor, the main level as well. So they wouldn't be alone, certainly, with 4th grades. They would have to be, they'd move to the second floor for their science, and then on the first floor, are you thinking of a self-contained classroom?
Right, for the 5th
So
grade.
5th grade self-contained.
Right.
There's probably that many classrooms on the first floor. Oh, so there's Mr. King. How many classrooms on the first floor in Andy's?
Can you repeat the question?
How many classrooms are on the, full-size classrooms are on the first floor of the classroom wing?
I can't say offhand.
I'm thinking possibly 20, which would be more than enough. Thinking there's
That's
at
a
least
good
20.
number. That's close.
Yeah.
12.
Mr. Kirsten, sorry.
Thank you. Now, even though the VCMS could, has held 1,000 students over 3 grade levels, now you're adding a 4th grade level, so things change. I'm not saying it couldn't work, but is that feasible? Where do all the 6th grade, where all those current classrooms that are on the first floor for 6th grade, where do they go?
Well, we'd have to take back classrooms that are used for reading and small group instruction and things like that. And Mr. King would have a better sense of how many rooms that would be. We'd have to increase staff in terms of art and music, but that they could possibly come from the elementary school, obviously, because they'd be doing one less grade level at the elementary schools. So it would be a tight fit, for, especially for the exploratory areas, because they'd still have to have art and music and physical education. They wouldn't have woods and the other areas, but they would certainly have those.
Thank you.
And
Mr.
if the
Kemp.
board,
Sorry.
if the board pleases, we can certainly, work the feasibility of that up for the next meeting. But Mr. King would have to take a little bit of time to do that, but we certainly do it.
And somewhere in my archives, I may have the data on this, but I remember Dennis Bew telling us a long time ago that VCMS was the 2nd largest middle school in the state. I have recollection that there were 1,200 students in there at one time. I could be wrong, I don't know, but I'll look, see what I can come up with.
There's 2 items that we've talked about so far this evening that would potentially have some action on them between now and our next meeting. Getting numbers for the daytime transportation costs, and this latest thing Mr. Kemp just brought up, the potential of having a 5th grade or putting the 5th grade in the middle school. Those items that folks are interested in additional details. Oh, and the teacher. Yeah, sorry. We don't, go ahead.
Do we need a motion?
I don't think we need a motion. I just, if we're interested, if we're seriously interested, and I think we want to make sure that we're giving administration proper guidance. And I don't think we said, please do it. I'm thinking I want to say, let's get those numbers for the transportation for midday so we understand what that impact is. So that we get what the options would be of housing a 5th grade at VCMS and the reduction of classroom sizes.